Every month I tend to film little clips around the garden of things that have happened or things that we've done or things I find interesting, but they don't really fit in harvest videos or tour videos. So I've just made a compilation of the clips that I filmed this month to show you what's been happening at Ce Tuin. August has been a month of weeding. Like the onion bed got completely overrun with weeds so much that you could barely see the onions underneath it all. So it was a lot of before and afters like this. I didn't do many videos, but this is just an example of the weeding. Our hot compost pile stopped heating up, so we ended up taking off one of the sides to see what was happening. I think it just needed more aeration, so we took half of it out and then forked it over before putting it all back in together, because it still needed to compost a little bit more. This happened in July, but I think it's still cool to see. After we did our little wood chipping project underneath the plum tree, there was a lot of mycelium. It just popped up everywhere. It looked like a blanket of white. We harvested the rest of the potatoes from the grow bags, and just like the first video that I filmed, it was still quite disappointing, but we got enough to have 1 or 2 meals from them. I knew that the wet July would inevitably bring the blight to Ce Tuin, but it hit really hard very, very fast. So it was quite disappointing because so many were on the cusp of being harvested, but the tomatoes were just completely over. There was no saving them. Basically everything had to go into the compost bin. I know people are a bit iffy about composting blighted stuff, but I do it every year and it doesn't really affect anything. The grapes have slowly been ripening, which has been nice to see. So happy that we made the pergola this year so they can have space to grow on. But because we have grapes growing in this area now, we can't bring our dog to the garden anymore because she tends to hang out in this area. But the green grapes are fine, but the birds love them. I had moved some plants from a little grow tray, and to my surprise, I found 2 little frogs living in the little grow tray. I sent this video to my sister, so I was really excited. And I thought it was really cool to see that if I was to build a pond, the frogs would come. So I didn't end up relocating them. I just left them, so I know once the tray evaporated, they just moved on. But I'm really excited for my pond project next year, or maybe in the early winter or sometime in the winter. So hopefully more frog friends will come back to the garden. The Perennial Wildlife Corner has been my favorite project this year. Everything's been looking really nice this month. Really nice and green and flowery, lots of colors everywhere. But there is still a few things to do. There are some gaps that still need filling, and the pond at the other end of the corner needs to also be finished. This isn't my garden, but it is garden related. If you like dahlias and you're in the Netherlands until October, there is a Dahlia Showgarden at the Tulperij in Voorhout. It's a really cool show garden. There's around 600 different varieties, which is really cool, so you can look around and see what you want to buy for next year. I go here every year. It's one of my yearly trips. This one was my favorite this year. It is called Joey Midnight because it's almost black but very dark red. I love dark dahlias. You can't find a black one. There's no such thing as a black dahlia, but this one I really like. So I hope it gets released next year. They also have a cutting garden there, so I think it's around 70 cents per stem. They've got a few rows where you can cut what you want, so I took a few back home. But yes, that's the Tulperij in Voorhout. If you're in the area until October, I totally recommend you go there. The owners are really nice. Basically, right next to the Tulperij is a Kringloop, which is the Dutch word for a charity shop or a thrift store. And I picked up that basin for the garden. Did I need it? No, but I wanted it. Back in my own show garden, the cosmos and the dahlias are really starting to bloom right now, which has been really, really nice to see. This has been a very late year for me for dahlias, and when you're on Instagram and you see everyone harvesting their dahlias, you feel a bit jealous, but mine have finally come, which I'm really happy about. That's some cosmos cupcakes there. And that's a Wizard of Oz. But I have already harvested a lot of dahlias, which has been really, really fun. I love cutting flowers. Sometimes I like cutting them more than actually arranging them because I'm not very good at arranging, but it's a skill that I'll hopefully improve with over time. Maybe I'll watch some YouTube videos or something. But I'm also thinking about this year trying to overwinter them because digging them out and storing them over winter and then having to pot them up in spring takes a lot of time, and I don't know if I want to do that next year. So I'm going to try and overwinter them this year, and hopefully they do not rot in the ground over winter. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with the display this year, and I love dahlias. My sister in Australia got a watering wand and she recommended it, so I ended up getting a watering wand because we tend to influence each other with what we use in the garden. I really like it, and my boyfriend does too. It's easier on his back because he's a lot taller than me. This is not from Ce Tuin, but this is from my backyard. I still have tomatoes in the backyard that are not affected by blight, so I actually still get tomatoes, which is nice. This month I also did a deep clean on my secateurs. It's something that I don't do often because it takes a lot of time, but I usually soak them in some water and then I pull them apart and then really, really clean the blades. I have two of them now because I have one for me, one for my boyfriend, and I have little snips that I also try to sharpen as well. But Felcos are very easy to disassemble, which makes them very easy to clean. So this is after all the scrubbing. The blades are a lot cleaner now, almost new, but definitely not new. They're quite easy to put together. It's not as hard as you think it is. So if you have Felcos, I recommend you doing a deep clean at least once or twice a year because sharpening them afterwards makes a huge difference as well. I had never seen a kohlrabi split like this. Apparently this happens with like weird water fluctuations or something. Initially I thought it was a rat, but I didn't see any teeth marks or anything, so that was a bit of a relief. About twice a week I bring some buckets or little vases to the garden to cut the dahlias and the cosmos and any of the other flowers in the garden that I think would be nice fillers for vases. It's really nice now to have a house filled with fresh flowers that I grew myself. The Egyptian walking onions are completely covered in rust, which is kind of unfortunate, but I've been removing the bulbils from the onions to hopefully grow somewhere else. I'm not sure if the rust will affect the bulbils, but we'll see. I've been doing a lot of seed saving as well. A lot of the flowers have gotten dried seed heads like this feverfew. So I just take usually like an envelope to the garden and pick the heads off. I usually take them out of the envelope at home and then dry them a bit further to make sure they're super dry, and then I can go plant the saved seeds again next year. If you keep using your own saved seeds, then they're more suited to your garden and they'll be easier to grow. And that was my little compilation video. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye!